Hi guys, and welcome to today's journal. Yes, so I wanted to share this one with you. This is one of the journals that I've been working in and using some of my papers that I create on Patreon. Now, if you do come over and follow me on Patreon or join us on Patreon, there is a free tier that you can join, and there are free papers that you get each month to use in your creative projects. And this is this month's, yeah, and you get that and 4 tags. Okay, so and then there are paid tiers starting at $3, $10, $15 and $25 going up, and each of those tiers also has papers. So anyway, so I've been working in this, and so you'll get to see some of what I've been doing with those papers, or the papers for this month and some of the previous months. And I wanted to do a little kind of it's a doodling session where you go take your journal, take a page. It could be I did one on black card, so if you've got metallic markers, pens, you can, you know, do it on that and just experiment with the supplies that you have. So I've been playing about with these art markers. They're water-based ink. This one's metallic, and then I've got this acrylic-based one. So it's permanent and then but washable on surfaces. And so yeah, I've just been messing around in here, and I use, you know, the Posca pens as well. Okay, so we'll have a look first, and one of the things that I do like to do is set up the pages so that I can come back and work on it. And this is 2 pages that were worked on. It is using background papers from my $3 tier, but again, you can use, you know, any papers that you've created yourself. You can create a doodling spot or set it up so that you can come back and use it. And or if you don't have background papers that you've created, you can also, you know, go into a magazine or go to your local hardware store, get one of their catalogs, cut out some images. You can even cut out some of the, you know, if it's a catalog and they have cushions and home decor, you can cut out the patterns in the cushions and use that to develop your background page. Or you can go into books. So this is an old book that I had, and it's just got loads of images, but the paper is really nice, and I like some of the images, and I have been actually using them in creating a series of mini envelopes for a project, but that's for another time. Anyway, so this is a page that has been set up. It's got background papers, we've got jelly printed papers, and just a range of, you know, scrap papers that I've put together. I've used ink, and now this page is ready for me to come in and add additional marks, add a word, say, and then it's a spot where I can come and feel encouraged. Yeah, and so these are, I think you would see it this way first, so we'll look at this one first. So this is, these projects you will find on my $3 tier Patreon, and these are cards that I've created, again with the background papers, but encouraging cards, and then I've written on the back, and it's just, I just loved the colour. So this one says flow, embrace. Here's a recycled envelope that I've created, and I've created like a tuck spot in here, and again in the $3 tier you'll not only get the papers, but you'll get the projects, and you'll see how I've created them. So this is a nice tuck spot. I'm going to be putting an encouraging word message in there. And I've created just mini journals that, again, from the papers. So you'll see these if you do join us. And a space for me to write something. And then I created this kind of little ledge here, so that if I decide that hope, I want to work on hope this week, the word and what it means to me, and I'll just put it in here, and it's something that I can either leave on my desk and remind myself and look at the activities that I'm doing that encourage me, that give me hope, that encourage others. Yeah, and so that's what these are. But again, it uses the papers, it uses the marks, creating marks, and you're just creating a series of marks to encourage yourself, or, you know, all of this is a meditative activity. And I could even go back in and say, okay, now I want to outline everything with black, you know, so it's like a continuous. So this is essentially how a lot of the pages, you know, start. Here's another one that I'm working on with a journal, but this is the $15 tier Patreon papers for November, which I really like how they turned out, so I'm going to be making a lot more of these. I'm thinking that this journal will be that space, or one of the spaces, because I've got another one that I'm going to be using as an encouraging space. I've started this one already with just, you know, just marks and things. Anyway, so yeah, it starts out with just background papers. These are all jelly printed papers stuck on, using some stamps as well. Let's see of this page. Yeah. And if you're working on the Gratitude Junk Journal with T.R. Smith, my lesson will be coming up towards, I think, in the next few days. It may be today. Was it the 20th? No, it's not the 20th. 20th is gone. But it might be towards the... I'll have to double check. Anyway, so this is the page that I work on, and it looks at what we ask ourselves to do. Me, like, I'm asking my hands to go out in the garden, dig, cut, pull, drag, soothe, encourage. And how am I nurturing my hands? Yeah, so that's that. This was a Second Saturday art piece that I did. And these are both pieces here. And then I've got a final piece at the back, page at the back. And this was a catalogue, yes. So you can, you know, once you start adding papers, you get a nice weight to your page, and then, you know, you can do more work on it once you start adding collage paper and then paint, all the layers. And it's just really a lovely space that you can come back to. I don't just create my journals and then leave them. I like revisiting and seeing, well, where was I, what was I thinking in those times. Anyway, so I'm going to work on, it'll probably be the double page. Which one is speaking to me? It's speaking to me in different ways. I'm thinking this one. Okay, so I've just got some paint. Now this is, it's like, I would normally use ink, but then my ink was running out, and it was just like, okay, so what else do you have? So I've got black paint. And the good thing about this particular one, I'm just going to add some water to this. The good thing about this one is that when it dries out, you can reactivate it. That's a good thing on one hand. I mean, if you're going to layer other paints, then you probably need to add some, just pour some of that out. you probably need to add some, like something over the top of it, or just use, you know, paint that's not going to come up. So it is an acrylic paint, but I had some in here and it dried, and then I realised that I could reactivate it. So it was just like, oh, okay. So all I'm going to do is, this is the second stage, I guess. So if you haven't got a page that's got some ink on it, then create it, or you can just doodle straight off. And maybe we'll do an exercise that I've done before, and then move forward, because sometimes, you know, people say, well, I don't know what to do in terms of doodling, and you say, oh, just, you know, do your, well, I'm making fun of myself, oh, just do, you know, your favourite shapes. And sometimes it's just like, but okay, it might be a circle, but then what? So what we're going to do is I'm going to call out a certain number of something, like I might say 3 circles, and I want you to do 3 circles anywhere on the page. Yeah, and then we're going to come back and do additional things, and you'll see how easy it is to build a page with doodles, and then we go back. So this particular stage with my black paint is to provide those areas where I can come back. We're going to do something like that. Yeah, that's what we're going to end up with. And then we're not going to, if you want to carry on, I'm just going to do this, like, you know, create this and then come back probably next week and go back in, or I might do it before then. But you'll essentially see how easy it is, but also how satisfying it is to create. So I want you to first start out with 3 circles, any size. They could be going off the page. It could be, you know, the whole page. And then I want you to do 4 triangles. Yeah? So they can overlap, or they can be separate, however you wish. So 3 circles. And then if there are other, you know, like things you just think, oh, I feel like doing that, then do it. Yeah. So don't hold yourself back. Don't say, oh, but we're supposed to be doing 3 circles. If you feel like doing something else, then, you know, do that. It's about following your intuition and seeing where it takes you. And sometimes we can hold ourselves back. And one of the phrases that came to me yesterday was, we've got to get out of our own waiting room. You know, we put ourselves on hold, and we've got to get out of that so that we can live our life. Okay, 4 triangles. Again, mine's coming off the edge. So everybody that does this will do it differently. And that's the beauty of, you know, doing an exercise like this. You know, yours doesn't have to look like mine. It doesn't have to look any particular way. It's just an expression coming from you, yeah? And when we try and, you know, outside of the technique, when you try and do things like other people or compare yourself, that's where it's just like, that's a slippery slope of sapping your creativity. I think it's important to learn the techniques. We said 4, didn't we? Learn the techniques that you need, and then just run with it. However, yeah, just run with it, and then see where it takes you. You know, break the rules. Learn the rules and then break them according to how you feel. Okay, so I want you to do now 6 sets of 3 dashes. So I mean like 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I want you to do 6 of these anywhere on the page. So I've got 3 so far. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that could be any length. Okay. So when you step back, when you look at what you had as a background, and then you look at now you've added some marks, and as I say, you know, add any marks that you want. Now what I want you to do is 3 lines, long lines from one end to the next, yeah, in any direction. Okay, so there's some resistance here. So this is where I did wax resist, so that's why it is not sticking, but that's fine. It'll just give you an additional look. Let me see if I can do this here. Okay. Right, so now that you've done your lines and everything, I'm actually going to take a photograph of this, because one of the things I do like to do is round off my edges. Now I've got, I've got some videos of neurographic art, and that's one of the things that they do in neurographic art that I've continued in. Whenever I'm doing mark making, I always kind of round off edges. And the other thing that I do in journals, I think I probably better put something under here. The other thing that I actually, let's use this, that I like to do, especially in these journals, is just go around the edge. Yes, I'm gonna go around the edge, and then I'm going to round off all the edges. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then we will come back. Okay, so I've done all of the rounding off, and as you can see, it doesn't look like I've done, you know, like we specifically 6 this, 6, 5, 2, 3, and as I say, yours probably looks very different from mine, and if you did it again, it would look different again. So that is how I would prepare one of my spaces. Other than that, I would just create just lines, creating lines, circles, again, my favorite shapes. But if you want to give yourself something a bit more kind of structured, you can say, you know, okay, write it out first, 3 circles, 4 triangles. You could have done some squares in there as well, but then when you do the lines and they join up, it just makes it really nice. And then on top of this, once it's all dry, I will be coming in with the Posca pens, the marks. So I want you to go off and continue with your page, let your page dry, and I'll come back next week and share the next stage of this piece and see where I can take it. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed looking through the journal, and I hope you enjoyed that little bit of, I find it quite therapeutic, and that's why I think it's important to do it. And even if, like, I started out doodling just especially like on the phone, when this is before mobiles, or before you could afford a mobile, and you had the landlines, and I would just sit there doodling on a piece of paper as you talk to somebody. But yeah, again, you can go in, you can do some dots, dashes, but I would, save that for the pen stage. And yeah, if you want to leave yours until then, or prepare another one so that you can come back and do some of the other bits. But I look forward to connecting with you, and I'd love to hear how you got on. Take care for now.